It's the middle of the day, pretty warm, beautiful fall day, but the turkeys are out feeding and moving around a lot in the middle of the day. Headed out to the boat building to work on, put a little shine on my Mercury motor and Ranger boat, and saw a bunch of turkeys going through the yard, so I just kind of watched them a little bit. Sure enough, they go right to the Texas Hunter feeder. So sort of tells me, them feeding here in the middle of the day, that we may have some weather coming in. May have some rain or a cold front or something coming in, because these birds are up and moving around in the heat of the day as opposed to laying in the shade with a little gentle breeze blowing on them. And but they're moving down through the woods, feeding and enjoying themselves. So that's pretty cool. Right here in the middle of the day. They were talking to me earlier. I'm just another one of y'all, bro. Look at that. I love wild turkeys. I love it when a feeder goes off. I do love it when a feeder goes off. Man, will you look at that. I was watching those 13 turkeys out in the front yard, just watching them through the window. I've been watching them go all the way across the yard, feeding there in the ryegrass, catching a few bugs, and just having a great time. And all of a sudden they took off running like something was after them. I thought maybe Benelli had gone out, but then they ran around the house toward the front. They didn't run to the woods. So I knew that it wasn't Benelli, it was the feeder. And the feeder's gone off, and when the feeder went off, they ran running around the house. They knew what the deal was. Now, we're at the right position to see the cut on the back of TC. That's TC right in the middle. And in the way, but he's got a big cut there. So you see on the left side there, that other deer, another buck that's looking on that doe, is in front of him now, but you can see it's black looking. See the cut right there, black looking on his fanny. But he's doing okay. He's eating. You know, watch, he walks kind of funny. It's stiff. It's kind of a rip or a tear, a little bit of a hole. Honestly, appears to be perhaps done by an antler. I don't know for sure. But I remember when Forrest got a really bad injury on both sides, inside to his leg. But he's going to poop right there in front of all of us. You can see that back cut and how bad it really is. They still give him a wide berth, and he walks around and eating wherever he wants to eat. That's a pretty good bunch of wildlife out there this morning. Pretty good bunch of wildlife. I don't know how many bucks are out there, but I'd say the buck-doe ratio around the house is pretty good. Wow. But I believe that TC will recover from that. It might get in the way of his lovemaking this year. I don't know. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. I think they about got it all cleaned up. It goes off 3 or 4 times a day, plus we throw them feed. What a great investment. Texas Hunter deer feeder and South Fresh deer food. Lots of enjoyment. Tickets to the wildlife world for sure. Front row seat on top of all that. Isn't that fantastic? Absolutely sensational. You don't really have to watch too awful long before you'll see these bucks start sparring and fighting. And they're not serious fights right now, but you can see those guys are going at it down there. I've been watching them for about 10 minutes. They were kind of in behind some trees and kind of difficult to be able to get any video of, but they were going at it pretty good there for a while, and one has decided he doesn't want to play anymore. The other one still wants to play. You can see that's the aggressor there on the right. He's going after that one that's walking back in behind there. Fat boy over there, he kind of thought about going down there and getting involved with that a little bit, but he decided he'd rather have deer food rather than do a little training session this morning, which I think a lot of that is training those young bucks, kind of teach them what to do, because it'll get very serious pretty quickly. A little cool weather comes in here that's going to really trigger the rut for 2025. And these guys will get a lot more serious about the girls. You can see about one back there. The one's way back there in the back, out in the woods. They're going to get together again back there, looks like. Back in behind the trees, hard to see, but it's going to trigger the rut to get into a little bit more full-blown action. Right now, they're just sparring, playing more than they are serious. But seriousness is on the way. When the girls start getting a little more interested, they're down behind those trees. You can see it. You can't really see it happening. They're right in behind the feeder right now. And you see that buck run off there. He probably got a little pain. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. That guy's not involved in it, fat boy. But that one back there, he kind of run off a little bit, saying, okay, you win. So they're kind of establishing the pecking order. You can see that cut, that black spot there on the back of TC. No, you can't see that. I'm sorry. I was looking at the tail. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can see just a little bit of it from this angle, but it's a pretty severe cut, but my guess is it will heal. Walking a little stiff-legged. Pays no attention to that little baby. The little baby, they all treat with respect. The animal world, they love babies of the same species. Babies of the other species often are eaten. And baby deer are eaten a lot by bobcats, coyotes, wolves. Lots of stuff out there will get them. It is a bit wet out there this morning. I got about 3 or 4/10 inches of rain, a bit wet and cool. Ours ought to be cool. It's the fall. No deer around this morning at all, none whatsoever. They're all kind of laid up under a tree somewhere, letting this rain go by. Probably enjoying the rain. We haven't had a whole lot of rain lately, so been pretty dry. Although the turkeys get out of the roost just as soon as it quits raining, and it just quit. And been watching it rain for a little while. Didn't rain a lot, but we sure needed it, so it rained some. And as soon as it quits raining, the turkeys get out and start moving. And we've learned that from turkey hunting, obviously. Turkey hunting, starts raining. I have hunted right through downpours. I mean, absolute downpours, because I'd be in like a mile or 2 miles from the truck. And it start raining, and I just sit there under a tree and get wet. Sometimes have a raincoat, sometimes do not have a raincoat, just get wet. And then the moment it quits raining, though, of course, gobblers in the springtime will gobble at the thunder. So when it's thundering, you can hear them gobble and know they're around. So you hate to leave the woods. And most of the time I've failed during those times. But when it quits raining, success is on the way. Success is on the way. Those turkeys are out having a great time this morning. Enjoying the cool, enjoying the rain. I'm sure they love the fall just as well as the rest of us love this change of seasons. I was talking about the rain backing off, and the turkeys, as soon as it quit raining, the turkeys come off the roost, which they did really, really early. It didn't take long for the deer to show up either. And it's probably been an hour, and they're all over there. And actually, Apache threw a lot of deer feed out there. That's Fat Boy right there. Beautiful Fat Boy. Beautiful Fat Boy. Look at the belly on that guy. And many bucks out there this morning. Apache threw the feed back in behind the burn cans and the feeder in the tree. So you can't really see those deer nearly as good as we'd love to, but you can see there's several nice bucks back there. 2 or 3 bucks that have their first antlers, but they're little small 8-point racks, which is absolutely perfect for first antlers. I mean, it means that those deer are going to grow up to be really big guys when they get 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years on them. Like that guy right there, they're going to just be beautiful to look at. He's never had a really big rack, but they're heavy and they're not wide, but then they're basically an 8 or 9 point every single year. But a couple deer out there trying to mix it up a little bit. Those are a year old in size. You can see just by looking at them. One's got the first year horns, the other's the second year horns. But you can tell that both of them are very young, particularly when you look at Fat Boy and see what he looks like. And then TC has stepped out there now, and you can see TC is still injured, but he's moving around pretty good, and he still thinks he's king of the roost. These two guys decided they'd rather come and eat food than fight, which is a pretty good idea, actually. And there's another nice, big, beautiful buck right there. That is, there's probably at least a half a dozen bucks out there this morning. So it's a pretty good little bunch of bucks, a pretty good little bunch of deer. Looks absolutely gorgeous. They're moving around quite a bit. And you can just see how lanky, even though that deal's very healthy, you can tell he's very healthy, just not built and filled out like Fat Boy or, and they gain a lot in 1 year. They gain a lot in 1 year. You can see TC, he walked through there, how large he is. He's a 7 or 8 year old deer, but he's pretty old. You can tell the babies walk through there. I mean, it's just like a body weight and size gives away a deer age about as much as anything, actually. But in order to really make that a part of your determination in age, you have to have them around other deer that you kind of know what age they are. But major difference from a yearling to a 1 year old deer. A major difference to a yearling would be one that was born this year, we call. A 1 year old deer was born last year, 2 year old deer born 2 years ago, and vice versa. But you can see the difference in body weight, especially if they're on a good piece of property like these deer live here, where they got lots of food plots planted for them, plenty to eat. And the big boys are kind of making their largeness and their age known as they feed, keeping the little bucks away from the deer food. That's some really, really nice looking bucks out there, and quite a few of them. So they're enjoying the cool weather. They're enjoying the rainy, and the rut is about to happen. Okay, guys and girls, that'll wrap us up for this week's deer videos. Many of you have been commenting that these deer videos are your way you can just kind of kick back and relax. We have so many things on social media that are controversial, so many things on social media that are political, so many things that are on there that are bad speech, bad language, all kinds of things. But it's kind of nice just to watch God's creation, out there in the wild and see what's happening and running around the house. It's just absolutely a fantastic situation to get to do. And we're so happy to share it with you. We are so blessed here at Twin Eagle Ranch to take care of these animals the way we do, and also to become associated with them, become friends with them. And we have many, many wild animals, pure wild whitetail deer running around, turkeys, Canada geese, pure wild stuff that we can get, within 10 or 15 yards of easily. And some of them we can actually feed out of our hand. So it's absolutely an honor to get to share this with y'all, share this with many of your friends. And this channel is called Jimmy and Chris Houston's Twin Eagle Ranch channel. On YouTube, Jimmy Houston Outdoors, all capital letters on Facebook. We've also got a Twitter account, X account, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. Over 1 million people on our social media. We appreciate each and every single one of you. 1 million sounds like a lot, but every single one's important to me because I sure do love you.